Welcome back to the first day of the knockout round. 2019 Women's European Lacrosse Championship from Netanya, Israel, with Steffi Samaras, Ralph Bednarczyk, as we get ready for Switzerland in the red on red. They take on Spain in the white on white. Switzerland 1-3, including an overtime loss to Latvia in their last game after a good comeback. Spain, this is their best tournament showing, particularly when you factor in the caliber of competition. Spain, still a building program. They are 2-2 with 1-goal victories in this event, including over Sweden and Finland. As Spain comes up with the first possession, Catalina Borgera. In goal, again, is Luisa Moser for Switzerland. She has played every minute. And Spain, they have played in 2 of the 3 1-goal games that have existed in this tournament as we come up on 40 of the 59 games played. Switzerland has played in the other overtime loss that ended after midnight 2 days ago. Here's Sarah Quigley. And Quigley is back, Steffi, wearing a wrap on her left thigh as she suffered an injury, and that made Spain's win more impressive against the Swedes because Quigley, their most experienced player, and one of their 3 Americans. And the shot is off cage.
And Quigley is going to be she's somewhat of the heartbeat of this team. She also tends to fill the role of the quarterback offensively. I think the Borgera sisters have come on strong in the past 2 games to aid her in that position. But Spain's going to need to finish the ball in the net. That's going to be their biggest key. And defensively, can they hold Switzerland to, this is one of those ones where it could be a low-scoring game, it could be a high-scoring game. It depends on how quickly each offense gets going. It might be about decreasing angle. And we're seeing those long clears again. We saw it in the Latvia-Finnish game.
And it's Julia Marti that gathers it for the Swiss under coach Julie Duffy, championship-winning coach from the United States, Merrimack College. And she has certainly enjoyed her time. We've enjoyed interacting with her that this week. As here's Anouk Andres, 3 goals as she came on in the last game. And this is a good bounce shot, and it skips in off the pipe behind Marta Rodriguez of Spain in goal.
You know, I'm wondering now as we see that quick clear, I'm wondering if that's part of the game plan to rest the midfielders and get that quick clear out to create the 3-on-3 situation. And then the midfielders can take their time to get into the offense.
And then turning it over there is Eichner of Switzerland. And here comes Spain. Spain bounced back after another victim of Czech Republic's strong play in Group C. Czech Republic proving they have outgrown the developmental stage, 23-0 on Saturday, before Spain came back and took care of Sweden in a big game, because Sweden now goes to the last bracket, so Sweden will have to try to play out of the final spot, 16th in the tournament, and see who they will face in their last game on Thursday to do that. Quickly continues, and the shot right into the stick there of Moser. No, Moser didn't get it. It appeared the way Moser reacted that she did. Quickly finishes on a tough drive, and Spain leads.
You know, Quigley's going to continue to attack the cage as much as possible. She understands her role on this Spain team, and the more attention she can draw to herself, that will open the other options up that Spain has offensively.
That's the 5th of the tournament for Sarah Quigley, including a big overtime winner against Finland and the game tire with under 3 minutes left in their huge victory. And we've seen Spain grow so much from each passing day, and even within games, as Coach Georgia Hurd has talked about, that yesterday against Sweden, they even grow as Mar Camps, tall and strong draw controller for Spain, handles. Now against Lee of Switzerland. And she has seen her team grow. The defense has been their backbone, and patience has been her key on the offensive end. They came on with Catalina Borgera, putting together maybe the best half of her young career. Here is Catalina, still a high schooler, just outside of London at the Benetton School. She scored 4 goals in that win. Defended by Shorno of Switzerland. Teresa Borgera, her older sister, and Jacinta Idebelli commits the foul.
My only hesitation with Spain is potentially Catalina Borgero trying to carry this team on her shoulders. She did a very good job of that yesterday, but to take Spain to that next level, all 6 attackers are going to need to shoot.
There's Selena Hunter, got the pass from Quigley. And we have a player down for Switzerland. And the Swiss, they've gone through so much here, as that's Jacinta Idebelli. Idebelli from just outside of Lagos, Nigeria. It looks like maybe some kind of cramping. And Idebelli, a great energy player, attended Mount Holyoke College in Massachusetts, coming over from Nigeria, pursuing an education where she played both lacrosse and ran track. So Idebelli exits, and the Swiss will bring on Anine Moser to replace her. Louisa Moser, no relation, will begin the clear. The Swiss in this tournament have had the propensity of playing much better in second halves, as they look to change that today. That pass away from Anine Moser. And Anine, and that's out of bounds off of Camps of Spain. At possession, Shorno. Shorno stripped by the top defender for Spain, and that's Teresa Manero.
You say top defender for Spain. Monero offensively yesterday was a powerhouse.
Yeah, I asked Georgie Hurt about that, how much of a green light she gave Teresa Monero. And Monero, when this Spanish program began, she was a midfielder before suffering 2 torn ACLs, but today doesn't play with a brace. So she only starts and plays on the low D now to decrease the running. But that was the most aggressive we've seen Monero be on offense. She scored 2 goals, but probed very often. Hunter, Bomberger tries to defend. Hunter, power shot off of Louisa Moser. Spain will keep it. They have a 1-0 lead.
You know, that goes back to game plan. I wonder if Monero ended up doing a little bit more offensively for Spain because Quigley ended up leaving the game with that Charlie horse.
Feed to the crease. Hunter making the catch and making the save low is Moser. Louisa Moser took some extra shots in the recent days for Switzerland. And another outlet pass that cannot be completed. We'll get our first water break of the opening quarter. Spain leading Switzerland in the first day of the knockout round. At 1-0 Spain, Switzerland with a failed clear. Spain looking to advance. The winner of this game as this is a pass floated all the way across. Irene Garcia unable to reach it. The winner of this game gets Tuesday off. The winner of this game will take on the loser between Scotland and Norway. The loser of this game will play Italy tomorrow morning at 10:40. Italy having the day off today. Stephanie Berger, and she lost the ball and it went out of bounds.
A lot of emotion from this Spain team right now as Quigley.
Yeah, we could hear her voice.
The excitement.
Ground ball, Zoe Geidelberg makes her home in England. And that ball out of the reach. The Spain player initially before the pickup by Blanca Alejos. So Spain, they've had the bulk of the possessions here. Now they go in on the dodge, the save is made by Moser on Alejos. So Spain, with a high volume of shots, they have the lead here. And Spain looking to knock off a respectable Group B opponent today. And they're off to a good start.
You know, we need to see Berger from Switzerland get into a groove.
She did in the second half, and there's a strike thrown. Moser Finding a defender, here's the captain, Layla Haller. Haller with room, Haller looking for the goal and has it! What a time for Layla Haller. Streaking down the field, her first goal of the Euros.
That's a really great job from Layla Haller, and not to mention that pass from Moser to Haller, that's a really hard pass. When you're cutting across the field, it's very hard to hit that type of a pass as opposed to somebody who's cutting directly to you, and especially for a goalie.
Works in sports marketing for Athletic Wear. Might be her last tournament. She is Switzerland's oldest player. Julie Duffy even gets in sometimes in practice over the last year. Layla Haller hits her. She's tenacious as a defender. And here is Janine Reichener taking it to traffic. Janine shooting, and what a moment, she's got a goal! Janine Reichener, her last 48 hours are one she'd probably like to forget. Late on Saturday night, in the second half, she took a hard slash to the face. It was right in the second quarter. An ambulance had to come to take her to the hospital. She has a huge welt on the right side of her face. She missed yesterday's game, and she is back playing full-time now with eye goggles. And the first time she's on the field, she scores a goal.
You know, it's interesting that she's actually wearing goggles, and I understand for the protection of her eye, but the pain of the goggles sitting on just above her eyebrow is got to be something that you have to take in, like, that's just painful, the pressure on her face. And I saw her walk by during the Latvia-Finnish game, and it was a pretty extreme welt.
And what a victory already that she's playing, but then to go out and score a goal and to take it into traffic tells you a lot about Janine Reichener. And we'll see if that motivates Switzerland a little extra to know that.
And no fear going through all those defenders with the potential to get hit again.
Quickly, Hannah Broker, she rolls on her, takes the shot, and Broker, who is so big and strong, knocking down quickly. So it'll be a free position for Sarah Quigley. She's got Spain's goal. Under 5 minutes left, opening quarter. But Janine Reichener, what a moment that I think is going to stick with us for the rest of our time here. Quigley, back to the left hand, and then she got the outside of the pipe. Marty. Reichener. Reichener, aggressive again. And Reichener is fouled. Reichener will have a restart. Final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Switzerland has gone in front. Switzerland's goal, as Layla Haller and the team had set to finish in the top 10. For that to be possible, they must win this game. Feed down low from Broker to Shorno is away from her. Evelyn Eicher, ground ball for the Swits. Andres in front. It was Monero that stepped in the crease. Switzerland will keep it. Final minutes. Andres, the primary distributor and the quarterback of the Swiss offense. 3 goals yesterday, or 2 days ago against Latvia. Marty. Marty continuing, the shot blocked. Monero gets very low as she looks for the scoop, and Switzerland forced to foul her. So 30 seconds left. Clock only stops in the final 30 seconds on any whistle. It's continuous running time quarters, except for water breaks and team called timeouts. Monero to Catalina Borghera. Hunter and Spain can run out the clock. Monero is in as she runs into Switzerland's Vera Pfeiffer. And that's it for the first quarter. Two teams that have been in or combined for all three one-goal games in Netanya are in one now. 2-1 Switzerland with the lead as we go to quarter number 2. Switzerland getting goals from Leila Haller and Janine Reichener. Perhaps unexpected sources, Steffi, when you thought about the Swiss in a knockout round game as the second quarter is about to begin. Haller, a captain, starting low D, their leader back there, and then Janine Reichener, 48 hours after suffering a very gruesome slash to the face and her first game back her first shift in the midfield, she goes out and scores. And they have the advantage over Spain.
Yeah, you definitely want Anouk Andres to get the Swiss offense going. And now with the Spain offense, how can Quigley, because now she's moved back behind Cage. First quarter, she was up top. Different type of looks for Spain is probably going to be something they're going to want to continue to do.
Catalina Borguera, she'll always be in the midfield for España. Borguera got stuck. Good help defense from Anin Moser to force the turnover.
Oh, there's Berger with the click clear from Moser. This is where the Swiss do their job.
She gets it down low, and Andres dropped the pass. And that's the kind of clear that you hope for. And Andres will have to earn it at the free position. Anouk, the leading goal scorer for Switzerland, 11 goals, 3 assists. Andres, save made, squeezing the 5-hole together. Marta Rodriguez. Lee in front, and she sails it.
Marta Rodriguez is the reason Spain has stayed in these games.
And particularly Georgie Hurt wanted to point out in their loss to the Czech Republic, where you can understand in a lopsided score like that, and Marta's their only goalie. Cutting it across, Anouk Andres, 3-1 Switzerland. Team leading 12th on the restart free behind. But you can understand Marta Rodriguez is Spain's lone goalie when you lose a game by a final margin of, I'll check the score, that was 20. Yeah, Spain had lost to the Czech Republic 23-0 on Saturday. Marta Rodriguez had to stay in the whole game, but stayed with it mentally, did not get a chance to just get a breather during a game like that. Came back yesterday, played well in a 9-8 win over Sweden. Room for Alejo before the Swiss recover. (3-1) Switzerland, second quarter from Natanya Israel. Quigley, and her in and out dodging will get herself a free position.
She is going to draw a lot of fouls for a couple of reasons. One, she attacks so well, but two, this is a good reason, her height. She's going to be smaller than most of the defenders that she faces.
And then she's able to shoot from high and finish low. Sarah Quigley with both goals for Spain. Quigley playing and showing great pride during her play. We hear her emotion and intensity. I think that leaves something on her teammates coming from a different country and with the most experience that rubs off on players, I think.
Yeah, I think it has a huge impact on your teammates when you play with that much passion and that much oomph. It starts to almost just spread throughout the team.
They'll redo the draw. Alejos taking the draw now for Spain rather than Camps. Bomberger, and she's out jumped there by Alejos. So Spain another possession. What an even game it's been. 3-2 Switzerland.
I think Alejos for Spain is come on strong these past 2 games. She's been handling the ball for them in the transition way more than she did their first few games.
Yeah, especially after the first game. Alejos was not much involved against Austria. A ground ball that was an overpass, but Özlem Kuz's pass out of the reach of Andres. And it'll be Spain ball. The other subtle adjustment made by Georgie Hurt since game 1, Selena Hunter, has been playing a lot more defense. And a throwback here, Alejos. And also now 16-year-old Marta Bravo on the field for the first time for Spain. Friday, still a moment we'll never forget, where she scored 5 goals against Finland the day before her 16th birthday. Looked very confident. Georgie Hurt is watching her because of how young she is. Hasn't played as much, or didn't play as much against the Czech Republic or against Sweden, especially in a 1-goal game. Her parents are here enjoying this moment. Pass intercepted on Lee. Lee to create transition. And Lee veered off as Spain would not give up a 4-on-3.
I almost thought Lee was going to shoot that, but the defender's stick got in the way.
Andres. And tied up by the defense of Spain. Stick in there from Cristina Velez. Andres, and she finishes. Rodriguez looking low. Andres has both Swiss goals in the second quarter, 4-2.
You know, Andres is getting open a lot for Spain, and I think this is just Spain's youth. They're not able to see past the defenders yet, especially if they're in a double team. And that's going to come with time, because when they are able to do that, they're going to be able to potentially pick some teams apart.
Andres with 2. Switzerland by 2 with a water break on the field in the second quarter. Second quarter water break has Switzerland 4-2 over Spain. And now whistle following the draw. And Mar Camps is shaken up and holding her nose. This tournament is so much about attrition and who can get through the wear and tear.
And this could be big for Spain because Mar takes the draw for them. She tends to win the draw regardless of whether she draws it to herself or draws it out to the circle, because she's almost a good ball chaser. She chases her own ball.
She's physically strong, a vice captain of this team. Started playing lacrosse at university in Tübingen, Germany. And she was on the first Spanish national team back at the last Euros in 2015. Has played in Ireland, Barcelona, Amsterdam, Bilbao. Sounds like a great vacation itinerary put together, but this ground ball carries through, and Switzerland throws it away at a chance to clear now for Spain. So if Camps can't return, and Spain will have to persevere again. They played a good chunk of their game against the Czech Republic without Teresa Monero, or rather actually against Finland. When they won that game, Monero did not play against the Czech Republic. So they're happy to have her back. Teresa Borgera. Hunter now will get a midfield run. The double team comes. Nowhere to go except back behind. Quigley. Quigley. She had Marta Bravo, and getting the passing lane was Haller. And the foul against Quigley. Another good play from Leila Haller.
I love the stick placement of Leila Haller defensively. It was straight up. And Quigley needs to take one more step away from that double team, and then she's got the better pass.
Reichener. And when I asked Julie Duffy, so does Janine get sprinkled in a little bit? And she says no. All Coach Duffy did is switch up her midfield just a bit, looking for the right three players together, and Reichener is going to play consistently. A foul came off ball against Spain. Broker powers it low off the stick of Rodriguez. Switzerland has backup and a 4-2 lead.
I'd like to see them use Broker's height a little bit more. She's got the same type of height when you think about the Germans and Camilla Hayes from England. And I think they can use that to their advantage.
Yeah, she had 4 goals, her best performance against Italy 2 games ago for the Swiss. Andres. Raquel Barreda has been a pesky defender in this tournament for Spain. Broker. Flips it along. Spain has it. Spain to transition. Spain's assistant coach is also interesting. Lisa Beltramelo, current high school coach in the United States in Brooklyn, New York. Played at Marquette University. Working with Georgie Hearn. She also has coached in England too with Georgie. Well, there's a great English feel to this, to the building blocks of Spain women's lacrosse. Catalina Borgera runs it to Broker. Broker did not give an inch, forces the ball loose. Catalina Borgera will keep it. And Spain to try to climb within a goal. They led 1-0. Sarah Quigley would score another to make it 3-2. Hunter, the sweep, she's free. Low save. One of the better saves of the tournament made by Louisa Moser. Outlet comes Reichener. Reichener, and held on to it too long. Bomberger will hold, and joined by Lee in the midfield, and then Stephanie Berger will come on.
So Bomberger needs to get involved in this Swiss offense.
Yeah, no shots yet. Berger glides through. Rodriguez the save. Well, the split dodge when Stephanie Berger gets her feet going is at a Group A level with the top countries here. Andres, difficult angle, still puts it in. Not much angle to shoot at. That shot required some years in the making. 5-2 Switzerland. Andres, 3 more goals.
It's almost like a jump turn shot. But back to Stephanie Berger, when you can have that speed and it allows you to weave in between defenders. Normally we see her finish that shot, and I expect her to the next time. But again, it's that speed that carries you through. The defense is set. Their feet are almost like growing roots.
Bomberger collects. Final 2 minutes. Salome Bomberger. Wide to the stick side. Andres, though, had one chance to pick it up. It'll be Spain's possession. Minero, the drop-off. Spain will get into the restraining box. So as they look to get closer. This is Patricia Vidal, now on the attack for Spain. This final possession quickly on the bench. High pass, knocked down momentarily, and it's enough for the ground ball to belong to Switzerland. Julia Graf will come up with a caused turnover. Bomberger run into by Minero. They want Bomberger to back up. And that's it for the first half. 5-2, Switzerland able to pull away from a building Spain team. Switzerland has gotten 3 goals from Anouk Andres to lead Spain 5-2. We'll step away for 15 minutes for halftime. Here comes the third quarter, 5-2 Switzerland leading Spain. Ralph Bednarchuk with Steffi Samaras as we rejoin you on the second game of the first day of the knockout round. Spain has gotten 2 goals from Sarah Quigley. Swiss have gotten 3 goals from Anouk Andres. And then goals from Layla Haller, defender, and Janine Reikener, her first game off of a serious injury that took her to the hospital 2 nights ago. So Spain came out and shook off that early deficit. They've got the ball again. As Andres goes here to Stephanie Berger. Berger again weaving through and nearly got it back to her right hand that she has shown that is a move that she can execute.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most powerful moves up top that the midfielders tend to use, is that drive one-way pull back to your dominant side.
Berger, and her bouncer goes wide. The loser of this game will play tomorrow morning at 10:40 against Italy. So we have a chance to say hello to Vic Alexander, Lou Scott, and her coaching staff. Well, we always say hello to them anyway,
Yes.
but now they are here scouting. And the winner of this game will take on the loser between Scotland and Norway, 10:40 on Wednesday. So step up in competition. Andres with Geidelberg, defending goal line extended.
And one person we still haven't seen yet for the Swiss is Baumberger get involved in this offense.
Yeah, maybe just a couple of drives. Berger, chance for Baumberger to knife through. She does. The shot. Steffi, she delivers. 6-2.
Nope.
Oh, they call it dangerous propel. Wave off the goal. Yellow card against Baumberger. So it stays a 3-goal lead for Switzerland.
And now we get to see this man-up offense for Spain.
Transition, and they can't get to the straining line. Beatriz de la Fuente picks up the foul, or rather lost it, and Berger a chance to retreat forward.
And that's the power of Berger staying on the ride in transition, forcing the turnover just because the ball carrier steps on the boundary line.
A nice clear here for the Swiss down a player. As the trend has shown us, teams up a player on defense have not doubled. But we'll see if that changes now in the knockout round. And it appears that might be the case as Hunter gets some assistance from Monero. Lee try to waste some time. And got it there to Kuz. I would imagine we would start to see that especially Wednesday, Thursday, when teams especially attempt to leave everything out on the field.
Yeah, you're going to see some more emotion. You're going to probably see some more aggression. It's going to become a more physical game. And this is when I think it's going to be very important that the officials control that aspect of it.
Berger has Kuz down in the crease and just wasn't quite set to make that pass. Maybe expected a little bit of a longer wait. They had the chance for the slam dunk. Berger again splits and then carries and then bounces. Get another high-level move from one of the more tantalizing midfielders here from a developing nation that looks like she has a high level to her, a high ceiling.
She's continuing to get better. so fun to watch her play over this tournament. And again, the bouncer that can hit and come right under top of that crossbar, it's like, boom! You know, it's like you can air fist pump yourself. And I love seeing this Swiss team, you know, come out and control.
6-2 Berger. After the goal by Bomberger was waved off, the Swiss get the first one of the third quarter, leading us to the water break. Outside the circle comes the draw control, 6-2. Spain trails to Switzerland, and Selena Hunter defensively will carry it across. Spain has not been able to get anything in transition. They've been held to 2 goals in 6-on-6 that Sarah Quigley created. And Quigley back on the field now. There's a cut and not looking there. Moser, though, read the play and intercepted.
I think one of the big holes right now for Spain in the midfield is the fact that Mar Camps hasn't come back in. I just saw Coach Hurt talking to her on the sidelines.
Yeah, she suffered some sort of injury, a facial injury. Nice trail check from behind from Blanca Alejos. And here comes Spain looking for the clearance. But Camps also very good outside the circle in addition to be able to self-draw. And that injury has changed Spain. Alejos. Alejos flips it up, and Geidelberg will let Quigley come up with it.
Alejos has so much patience, and I think her next level is being able to take the bump in the midfield and still keep her head up. And I'm actually quite surprised at that charge call, because that's not something normal for Quigley to do.
Idabelli outlets forward to Andres. She has 3 to lead all players. All 3 came in the second quarter. 6-2 in the third quarter for Switzerland. Broker. And Broker stumbles through. Good defense by Irene Garcia not to let Broker overpower her.
I'm loving that Broker is going to cage right now. I want to see that power mixed with the height.
And now Özlem Kuz will get a run. She's the 4th attacker for Switzerland. Broker. Slide came from Hunter. Exactly when it needed to be. The foul is against Spain. Broker could have the sneak available to Andres, but has to pop it back out. As Hunter tries to provide a jab. And it's a foul against Garcia, trying to defend with Broker. So Hannah goes here to Evelyn Eicher. Marty, and good anticipation from Selena Hunter. And interference called. The off-ball player, I think they got Eicher there on that foul as Hunter had better position, so Spain eventually turns over the Swiss.
And this is all Hunter right here. She just her will to go after the ball. You know, a lot of times defenders get the ball on the ground and the attacker is the one that goes after the ball. It's not the actual defender.
Offensive foul, there's the call. Manero runs through a Swiss defender. Excellent positioning there from Julia Marty.
2 charges in the last 2 minutes on Spain.
Reichener.
I think they need to understand positioning. If the defense establishes position first, they're entitled to it.
Andres, oh, she tucks it into the upper corner. Fine shooting from tight corners. And Anouk Andres continues to pace Switzerland. She has 4 goals in the game, 15 for the tournament. 7-2 Switzerland for the third quarter water break. We'll take a timeout with them, and the Swiss pulling away from Spain. Midway through the third, Switzerland pulling away from Spain. Fantastic finish from Anouk Andres. Steffi Samaras at the end, right before that water break. We got a great look at what she saw and how she finished the shot.
Yeah, and you know, the best part of when you curl that close post and you make the step around, the goalie's got to make a decision. Does she hold the post or does she come off of it? In that particular instance, the Spain goalie stepped off of the post and Anouk was able to put the ball right in between, the small little sliver in between the Spain goalie and that post. It was just a great finish.
Yeah, it may not be one of the highlight goals, but you could see how she dissected the shots as Switzerland took command on the next draw control. Salome Bomberger, she weaves in, she's got a goal. Bomberger with 2 in the third quarter. 8-2 Switzerland.
And you know, we just had this conversation about Latvia being able to string together 4 quarters of a game, and I would say that after this game, we get to have probably that great conversation with Coach Duffy from Swiss. They've done pretty much the same thing. We still have a few minutes left in this third and the entire fourth, but I would probably say that Coach Duffy will think that this is their best overall output so far this tournament.
Bomberger, to correct myself, that's her first of the game. Her previous goal was disallowed despite the finish for a dangerous propel. But it is 8-2 on Lee. The Swiss turn it over. So Catalina Borgera. We have not seen the Borgeras factor much since the early going in terms of possession and initiating. And here is Raquel Barreda as she is fouled. So Raquel about to step through. Want to thank the Barredas for providing us wonderful España t-shirts that we'll be taking back to the States with us, Steffi. They're just wonderful, and the Barredas, they have been supporting their daughter through every single game.
With huge smiles on their faces. And, I got to have a great conversation with Mr. Barreda when I initially asked him for one of the España lacrosse t-shirts. And he just talked so well about what the game of lacrosse has been able to do for his daughter. And the smile that came over his face, it's interesting because we talk about how much we love this game and how much I love this game. I've been playing this game now for 30 plus years, and every time I go out to play or I go out to coach and now doing this, it's becoming a larger part of my life and my love and my passion. And I got to see that on his face, and it was so rewarding that somebody else shares that same passion, for this sport.
Yeah, like Raquel a lot of character has been built up in Raquel as she's grown into a young woman, was part of the national team for the 2017 World Championship. She got hit in the nose with a ball once, stayed in the game. Bomberger, and that one off the stick of Rodriguez. So that was a bullet shot by Bomberger. In the crease called against Spain defensively. And Raquel has been the starting defender here for Spain. Goal line extended will be Switzerland here in the final seconds of the third quarter. Debbie Shorno. And a high pass that is out of the reach of Miriam Muller. Gonna get some time here, so. An unforced turnover by the Swiss. The shirts look nice. And really, maybe the understated part is these teams also designed their own jerseys. And because women's lacrosse is not yet an Olympic sport, we've been discussing that, so everything is self-contained. You have players on these teams that handle the finances, the scheduling, based on whatever their particular jobs may be. Teresa Minero, for example, she is a fashion designer and merchandiser as her profession, so she designed the España uniforms, maybe even the t-shirts. We'll actually have to have a discussion with Teresa Minero about what she has up her sleeve. You know what, let's put that on our to-do list, Steffi.
Okay.
Because Teresa Minero would be a very good person. Here is Bomberger shooting, that's off the stick there of Marta Rodriguez. But Minero designed these jerseys. I know one of the Dutch players handles all of their accounting and expenses, social media, fundraising efforts, clinics that are put together. There's a lot more than just playing these games for these young women as time expires for the third quarter. 8-2, Switzerland expanding their lead over Spain. We're back with the fourth quarter in a moment. The fourth quarter sees Switzerland leading Spain 8-2. Mark Camps just returned late in the third quarter for Spain. She missed a good quarter and a half with some kind of facial injury, and then it'll need her if Spain has any hope of making this a bit closer in the fourth quarter. Teresa Borgera is able to recover the errant pass. And Spain will start on their own end. Anouk Andres, the story for this game. 4 goals, all in the second and third quarters. Salome Bamberger has been aggressive today for the Swiss. Stephanie Berger also has a goal. Janine Reikener, maybe more importantly, early had a goal just to get the Swiss started against still a nation that is much more in their infancy than the Swiss. The Swiss placed into Group B in terms of the level of their achievements and opponents. Spain in Group C. Up next, fascinating game between Austria and Germany. Austria 3-1, low loss to the Czech Republic. Nice pass, Andres. She finds Hannah Broker.
That's what I've been waiting for. Hannah Broker streaking down the center, using that quick stick. And clearly they were just excited about it as I am.
First assisted goal today for the Swiss. So Andres has another 4-point game. Great to meet Hannah Broker yesterday for dinner with the Swiss contingent that we sat with, including Coach Julie Duffy, Layla Haller, Louisa Moser, Julia Marty, and how Hannah Broker, she's been the men's national team physio, the physiotherapist of Swins Metz Lacrosse the last 2 years, including visiting Netanya, telling us stories of that, and then was the team's physio, I think 2 years ago for the World Championships for the Swiss women, and now she gets to play. Quigley, and we'll get the foul up near the mouth, and this is Stephanie Brock that is heading off. Brock, a defender for the Swiss. This is how she's enjoying her honeymoon. Was just married on Friday the 12th. I know your honeymoon, Steffi, even with your lacrosse background, was much different.
Much different.
Here's Quigley inside. I'm sure the honeymoon will begin after the recovery of the European Lacrosse Championships for Stephanie Brock. But looks like Quigley's okay.
It actually might be part of the recovery.
Yeah, yes. Quigley against Broker. Quigley would like to use her quickness before she moves it along to Zapata. Second cutter through. Oh, and it was open there. Chance for Alejos to shoot. Quigley, again, early fourth quarter. And attempting that quick stick was De La Fuente. Marta Bravo collected it and picks up the foul. They call her Martucci as an affectionate nickname for her. Marta straight on against Louisa Moser. And Bravo able to eventually get the shot off, but she ran to Ida Belli.
I think one thing that is really important about 8 meters is the speed at which you get in to the 8 meter, the 11 meter. And then the release of your shot. Because you are potentially so close on the cage, you don't necessarily need to generate as much power as you need to think about the placement.
Zapata. As Zapata circles, Moser holding the pipe.
And now the Swiss are just taking care of it on both ends of the field. We've been able to see them score Moser is able to make the big saves. Their defenders are decreasing the angle for Spain. Spain hasn't been able to run down the center of the field as much.
Miriam Muller. She looks to settle it ahead. And the Swiss in command. Eicher.
10 minutes remaining.
With 10 minutes to go, fourth quarter, Switzerland trailed this game, but led 2-1 at the end of one. As Eicher will settle it with Muller. And Muller thought she had the cutter cutting through. That was Reikener. A foul against Spain. Over on the Swiss bench, Franziska Fitzi, who would be a starting attacker for this team. They end the Swiss championship of their club tournament that takes place in the country. Defender Vera Pfeiffer hit. Franziska suffered torn cartilage in a knee, so she is along also on the bench. She'd be a key member of the Swiss, but as Along got a chance to catch up with her, she has been, as she proclaims, the loudest out of anybody on the Swiss bench. Reikener shrieks following the goal, so she's got two in her return. 10-2 Switzerland.
You know, Reikener is, it's almost like that hit to the face. I don't want to say woke her up, but now she's a different player. Completely different player.
As if she survived the worst. And now Janine Reikener with two, dodging hard. Water break midway through the fourth, 10-2. Switzerland in control over Spain. Well, it's been a satisfying game for the Swiss. 10-2 is their lead over Spain. Draw control as Alejos was in there, but Berger off the circle for Switzerland comes up with it. So the Swiss with a win, they'll get the day off tomorrow. Berger reaching for it and will rake that ball to herself. They'll take on the loser of either Scotland and Norway. And that game will be played tomorrow, I believe. Check that out. Actually, today. That's what it'll be. Muller.
Spain is definitely stepping up their defense right now. But it's just not being able to transition into a possession.
Baumberger, the ground ball will deal it back to Haller. Look ahead, Berger. And Bomberger outside. The Swiss putting on the finishing touches of a win here. It will be their second in the Tanya. They had a victory over Italy as their other. Berger, and she had Lee cutting through, then Eicher, and then the shot is hit. Eicher with the defender on her hip. That's probably the best shot of her time here in Israel. 11-2 for Evelyn Eicher.
Yeah, and right before she released that ball, I call it a hitch more than I call it a fake, because she had her stick up on her shoulder, almost parallel to the ground. So the goalie couldn't even read if it was a fake, but it's a small little hitch just to see what the defense and the goalie are going to do, and a great finish on the shot.
Berger the assist, and for Evelyn Eicher, it is her best shot because it's her first goal. The Swiss have gotten 3 more in the fourth. Bomberger able to get to it before Hunter. Berger again off the split dodge, and now she started her weave. Picks up the foul. She'll be at the top of the arc. If it's Switzerland and Norway, be very interesting. The way Norway has had 2 quality goalies, but the Swiss have shot the ball well today. There's a bouncer, though, off target, as Berger frustrated with the shot. Berger then dropped it, perhaps still thinking about her missed shot as Monero comes back. Berger trying to press up on Monero. And Monero favoring her hip. Following the foul, she'll have a chance to shoot. Yesterday, Teresa Monero, 2 goals and was very aggressive against Sweden. That got Spain into this consolation bracket. Essentially this 3 brackets, a winner's bracket where you compete for the gold medal, a consolation bracket, and then the third bracket, which Sweden and Italy are in. As this ball, Monero trying to play it back, but Louisa Moser won the race to the end line. But then the pass by Moser, and that bounced out of bounds. So after the good play, a failed clear, Moser will have to retreat. And look at Monero. She will have an open cage to shoot at. If Claudia Lobato into the game for the first time can get it there. Monero, roll back to her left. Good look.
I really think that this is a time where Spain needs to just possess. But neither of the Borgera sisters are in. Quigley isn't in. Now they bring Hunter into the offense from the defense. I love the speed. Quality shot is what Spain needs to take.
De La Fuente stood up there by Berger. Vidal, she works her way through, and that's her goal. Patricia Vidal fired up. She sneaks it through, similar to the way Andres did earlier, and Patricia Vidal scores for Spain. The first goal of the second half for España. Vidal thrilled, that's her first goal of the Euros. 11-3 as we've hit the fourth quarter water break with a timeout on the field. Patricia Vidal gets Spain closer to 11-3. But we should be around 7 minutes to go. There is not a visible clock here in Netanya, but we just had the water break. They'll redo the draw control. Irene Garcia against Hannah Broker. Marty. And then Broker here for the Swiss. Just saw during the last timeout, as here's a cut. Shorno. Save made Marta Rodriguez there. I think off the helmet, and Marta's got it. During the last timeout, the water break, Julie Duffy, head coach of Switzerland, went to speak and show Louisa Moser something in terms of her positioning. For Moser, as Vidal was able to tuck in a goal, somehow sneak it in on the near post. What do you think she was showing her?
Again, I think it goes back to holding the post. The other thing, too, where that shot was placed, although it went in and sort of 3 to 4 feet high, if Moser had been holding the post, the stick was so high, she would have just probably caught the ball. And you know, off air, we had this conversation. I don't want to say it's rare, but it's not often that you find a former goalkeeper becomes the head coach of a program. Coach Duffy at Merrimack and the transition that they're making out of Division I, and now here as the head coach of the Swiss team. It's not necessarily rare, but of the 10 girls you have on the field, only one of them is a goalkeeper. But it's interesting to see her be able to give this personal time to her goalie when the majority of her time is spent on the entire team.
Julie Duffy taking over last March 2018, undertaking this task of trying to take Switzerland to the next level. They've started the foundation, and eventually countries start to make the move where they look for a domestic head coach, and that constant cycle of evolution of a program. And we see this in all kinds of sports. I mean, how many different programs or national soccer teams have had English contacts? And Switzerland takes another step today. 11-3. They celebrate their second win. Louisa Moser is mobbed by her teammates and captain Layla Haller. 11-3. They pull away from Spain. Switzerland will advance. They get a day off tomorrow. They'll take on the loser of the Scotland-Norway game, which will be coming up later this afternoon at 5:40. Congratulations to Switzerland. They're 2-3 in the tournament. Spain will now play tomorrow morning against Italy at 10:40. Coming up, a game we're looking forward to. Germany and Austria, scheduled to start at 3:20. Why don't you join us then from Netanya?